sense. But right now we're just running it over there.
Onto the power grid, and
Right.
then this would run off. So this outlet would run off the generator.
This would run off the generator or your shore power if you're plugged in.
Your plug, the whole plug in.
But right now, since we're not plugged in here and we're not running the generator, we're just running it direct. And that's allowing us to have your lights on.
And it's plugged into back in the battery charger right now.
Yeah, it's just a regular
So
outlet.
there's a plug there too.
Yeah, and then this would be plugged instead of here, it would be plugged in.
Okay.
So before you switch over, you want to make sure all your breakers are off. Then you would go and you fire up your generator. You have a remote start stop switch inside, as well as here. But this is more so for service purposes when the guys doing aerosol. So you have a meter, you have your control panel, but you can start and stop it from inside. You don't have to do it here, per se. Just make sure when you close this isn't like so, because it's plastic and after a while, so you just go like this, close that, latch it in place. So once this is on, then you'll go back to your breakers and you'll turn them on one at a time. Ideally, you want to switch from this column to this column, just to kind of balance the load.
Right column to left.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. Just don't turn like everything on all at once.
Yeah, do one at a time.
Yeah, just do one at a time. Wait like a split second. Click, 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 click. Whatever you need.
Now, are you guys going to be the one that's going to be turning these on?
Yeah.
So just so we're clear again, once you start this, give it how many seconds? 5 seconds, and then when you come here,
No, that has no bearing. Once this starts, you have power, but you want to make sure the breakers are off. Same thing when you're plugging into your shore power. So now you turn your generator off, and you're at the commissary, you're going to plug into the wall over there, turn all your breakers off, plug in, and then you're only going to turn on just what you need overnight, like your refrigerator, battery charger. You're not going to be running your stock for you're not going to have enough time.
I won't know which. I mean, we'll.
Yeah,
it'll be all labeled.
Okay. Yeah.
And let's see. These are your batteries. And your batteries, what you want to do is have some distilled water on board and a little turkey baster. So at the end of the day, wait till you're kind of like cleaning up and stuff so these cool. You're gonna turn this, that'll come off, and then there's 3 areas there. You just put in just like a yay of the distilled water.
Okay.
And that'll maintain
Replenish
the
it
So
every day.
every day we have to apply distilled water to the battery.
You got to check on it, because if you don't, you're going to drain the batteries. That's just the nature of the beast.
and then they'll die.
So then what does distilled water do? Yeah.
It's basically like electrolysis. It's like an electrolyte for the battery. And if it depletes, you won't hold the charge anymore.
Not regular, just makes you have distilled water.
Yeah.
I mean, in a pinch, you could potentially use it, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's going to get calcified. Now, by the same token, if you do ever get like some corrosion on the terminals, coffee grounds and a wire brush, good to go.
Okay. And what capacity are these batteries?
These are 6-volt batteries. Let's see here.
So those are
They're deep
6
cycle.
volts.
Yeah, they're deep cycle batteries, so they last a good bit. You just want to make sure to charge them and maintain them. Let's see here.
Also, if it's deep inside, if you have boiling hot water, you pour it over the corrosion, it'll just wash it right off of there. So you don't have to get a refresh. You can use boiling hot water or even Coke. When you pour that on, it'll just wash it right off.
Each one's going to give you 220 amp hours. 115 minutes is 75 amps. 445 minutes is 25 amps. Realistically, every 8 hours you want to recharge the battery. You're not going to be drawing that much because it's really running power through your water pump, your fan, and your light. You're not drawing anything else.
So yeah, in terms I mean, one more question on the electrical. It seems too complicated. But for the most part, all the appliances are going to be running off the generator.
Right.
And then these batteries are largely just applying.
They're solely for your fan, your light, and your water pump.
Okay.
And to a degree, the fuel pumps to the generator.
And they get charged off the battery charger, which once you seconds you plug into the generator.
Right, so they're all kind of married. So the generators feeds power to the battery charger, which charges the battery.
Right. And then, so, but charging the batteries every day isn't sufficient to keep them. Well, they'll deplete overnight.
Well, they'll do a trickle deplete as well if they're sitting.
If they're sitting down.
Now they have maintenance-free varieties. The problem with those is they don't trickle deplete, and so it has nowhere to go. And if you're not using enough power on a daily basis or it's a weekend or whatever, eventually the energy's got to go somewhere and then it starts pumping out.
Okay. So if the truck is dormant, like it's just at the end of the day after they've been.
Yeah.
So-
Or even if, let's say, you forgot overnight, during the day, just flip on the breaker, and then when you're back in the house, you turn it off. See how that works.
And that's charged them.
Yeah, and it has a sensor where it's like an overcharge the battery. It'll cut off when it knows that it's actually out.
So basically, we want them charge. I mean, so it's keeping them charged for whenever we're essentially using those pieces on the truck. So that is every time we're operating. But then also at the end of the day, that's just a maintenance measure to like keep them up.
The longevity.
Yeah. So the distilled water will only really start after they've been charged out.
Yeah, after you've used them that day, because they're going to start getting hot.
Okay.
So then when you come back in the evening, you're kind of cleaning up and stuff,
Yeah.
wait till the battery's cleaned out, and then the very last thing is just...
Taking off.
It's a little inconvenient for the one in the rear, but it's just the nature of the beast as far as how much space we have.
Yeah.
Hence the turkey base becomes a
And we can't slide that out. That just stays put.
Yeah, reason being there's also a drain to this just in case there is some spillage.
Okay.
It's not going to take over your whole cabinet and waste.
And if that battery's completely depleted and we start everything up to charge it, can we get lights immediately, or does it take a second? Is it going to take a
Well,
while?
if the battery dies completely,
Yeah.
you're probably up a creek to a degree.
Yeah.
You can jump start it
Yeah.
and it'll continue
But
to
we
work,
always have a-
but then it won't hold it down. You'll have to replace it basically.
Hence why you always want to check the water at nighttime. If you check the water every night, you're gonna get a huge life out of that.
And there's going to be a label inside that says check battery water repayment. I'm going to put that right on the driver's
You
hand.
say, and it's you mean check water, like it's
But I believe it has a remote start stop inside.
yeah.
And let's pop inside here.
Okay.
One on either side. And there's a gauge right there.
Yeah.
You can kind of see it there. And you also have the shutoff valve. It has its own valve here. So at the end of the day, when you get back to the commissary, righty tighty, lefty loosey, just shut the tanks off, and you're safe. You're good to go. At the start of the day, turn them back on. You're good to go. If for some reason you turn on your valves and it's not, you're not getting gas inside, it's one of two things. Maybe somebody messed with it and it's on the closed position. Just put a screwdriver and pop it back in.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Have two of those, which is going to be 50 gallons, approximately 200 pounds of fuel. So going back to this, if in case this is in a closed position, which it shouldn't be unless your AMSL is deployed or somebody's messed with it, but let's say you turn on your valve, you have fuel, but you're not getting gas inside. One of two things. Either this is in the closed position, three things. This is not open, your actual valve right here, which is lefty-loosey, righty-tighty, like for instance right now it's closed. Or you've just filled the tanks and there's some air in the lines. And it takes a little while for the air to come out. So let's say you're pushing the button to light your pilot and it's not lighting. Give it a couple minutes and it'll light. It's got to push the air out. When they fill it with propane, some air gets in there. That's that 5 gallons we're talking about.
Right. So you said for the ANSO system that automatically triggers that to close if that
Yeah, it
engages?
shuts off the gas as a safety tank. So the same thing here. You got your gauge, you have your primary on-off valve, and then you have your ANSO valve. This you don't have to worry about, unless for some reason it's in a closed position. If it has got forbid deployed into a closed position, then you call the ANSO guy.
Would it close for any other reason that we would just flip it back?
I haven't seen that happen. The only way I can see that happening is if somebody turns it off for service purposes, deliberately shuts it off so you're not getting any gas going inside. Let's say they wanted to isolate this tank from the system.
Oh, it's right there. Oh, wow. That's cool. And, check out the side. That look cool at night, bro.
That is
Really,
cool.
really nice.
That is a nice spot.
Spot top.
Uh-huh.
That's it, right?
I believe that's all you gas equipment.
Yeah.
The rest is electric.
Any questions by the propane things?
No, it seems pretty straightforward. Yeah, I think that's
Now we're going to redo this a couple times, especially on Monday. We'll have you turn everything on and off.
Propane's easier than electric. Like, it's a simple thing.
Is that the cabling inside? Give a tug on the board, because once, for instance, if I close this switch, you could theoretically, especially once you're closing the second door because there's a little bit of air, if it's not completely latched, you hit a little bump, whoosh, inevitably it's going to hit a tree. So you just give it a tug, make sure it's closed, and ideally even lock it so nobody can fiddle with it while your attention is elsewhere.
Yeah.
And then you also have, of course, you have here your folding tables. Now what's important with the folding table, again, is make sure this is fully latched in place, because if it's like so, and you hit it there, it's going to bend and it won't line up here anymore.
Yeah, right here.
So just make sure that's deployed like so. And then you also have one here as well. And then of course like your iPad area.
Yeah. Yeah, so we can bring those in on Monday to get those. One's gonna be just sticky and one might screw in.
No problem.
We also have an alarm set up right here.
Right.
Just in case the doors are open and you drive, you'll hear a loud buzzing noise saying,
Very
hey,
irritating noise.
yes, something's open.
And as a matter of fact,
They're not like, I drive away with my RAV4 with the back up all the time, so
There you
I
go.
wish I had one of them.
it sounds like this. No mistaking it. Label these for you as well, so you know what's what. Some are for your doors, some are for the interior. These are your fuses. There's going to be a cover here. If at any time your 12-volt lights, pump, or fans aren't working, when you pop this cover open, whichever fuse is bad is going to have a little red light on, so you don't have to go hunting around and see which fuse it is. You just pop it and stick it on there. So it's a good idea to have a couple extras, 10s and one of those 30s. Just have them, sitting here. If the fuse goes out, you can
Just put anyone in, yeah.
And moving inside here.
Stand on
And you have a switch here for your water pump. So this will turn it on. I don't think we filled it just yet. Ideally, what you want to do is turn this off when you're not using it, turn it on when you are using it. The pump is supposed to be automated, but again, because it's not level, if it runs dry enough times, it'll burn itself out. So it's just a preventative measure. Water heater right here. You can just turn it on when you have water. When this is lit, it means it's heating. When it turns off, it's hot. You're at 120 some odd degrees. Down here, you have your sanitizing buckets, which the health department requires. And remember that auxiliary we were talking about? That feeds this. So it's almost like an extension cord. You hook up a hose there, you now have pressurized water here, and you can hose down the interior. And you want to keep the water, kind of like at the floor level wherever the coving is. You don't want to spray everything. I've seen people do that. It's just not ideal.
That's something we can maybe use. I mean, if we have a hose, we're thinking just in terms of changing the oil and cleaning the wires. We would probably use that hose, or just bring a hose on and pump it in.
Yeah, or you could use this. This
one extends
This one
along
like
that.
access and it has a spray nozzle. Another thing you want to do before you take off is just make sure batten down the hatches, because if not, again, while you're driving, this may pop up and then you're going to consider it's not just that fun. And these don't all go righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. It's depending upon your orientation. So for instance, this one is lefty, but some of them you might have to turn right just because of the way it's oriented with the actual shelf.
Okay. There needs to be sanitizer right for the inspection too, like towels, soap. We need sanitizer for the inspection.
It would not be a bad idea. They've never required it, but my last inspection in San Diego, they had got hung up on that. And it made sense. He goes, because look, if I give you your permit right now, you can go around the corner and start serving food. I had to bite my tongue. I'm like, what? Now, prior to leaving for inspection, that door is going to have a self-closing device on it. And it's going to be very, you got to...
Forceful.
It's very forceful. If after the fact you want to remove, we can do that, but it has to be there both here as well as in the rear.
That's just health code. It
Yeah,
just
it
have
has to be self-closing, so you don't leave it open.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so then,
How about that refrigerator?
So you have your refrigerator and so forth here, which they're going to be temperature testing once we take it outside and fire up the generator. The compressors for any refrigeration that we manufacture is underneath, and so it's not going to be radiating heat inside, and it's a lot easier to service and maintain, etc.
Yeah.
And you get a 5-year warranty on those compressors, so you have that peace of mind. The doors are also specifically meant for this type of application, so you can see it's not going to open on you.
Yeah, really great. The magnets are great on them.
Yeah, and especially once it starts running and it's cooling, the heat sensors in here also kind of like stick to it even more so. The chef base here, what I was proposing to do, if it's okay with you, is while you're driving, using the circuit on this action, right? So I'm going to have some latches put in here.
Okay.
Just remember to unlatch them when you want to work, basically.
Yeah.
And then relatch them
When we're driving. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
much like kind of like this. Well, we did the same thing here for your grease cap. Otherwise, you know, these aren't really meant for mobile applications, but we kind of tweak them so that they do work. Your hood is here, of course. Your fans. What's that?
The metal switches, I love that. Feels like a spaceship.
You want to make sure, and I gotta, yeah, the exhaust fan must be turned on before turning on cooking appliances. The reason being, you start cooking, you're like, oh man, I forgot to turn on the exhaust fan. Now, cancel deploys. Because
Okay.
the links are rated at certain temperatures, and if it's not exhausting, exuding the heat out, it could potentially deploy, and that's a pretty big mess.
Yeah.
Pretty big mess.
Yeah, we're having it at one of the stores actually. It's
Fun times, right? It gets into everything. So over here,
just added that. So this is a bin. I just want to make sure. This is what we're going to use for oil changes. The fryers.
Mhm. You know what we could do, if you want, maybe put a little bracket here and there so it doesn't roll around, but you would have to lift it up to pull it in and out. It's up to you.
Yeah, we're thinking we might also get another one of those. Because we're thinking like with the 2 fryers, but yeah, that might be actually helpful. But I guess we decide on how many we're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
How high is that thing?
You got about, well, with this lip here, we have about maybe 2 inches. That's the highest. As you see, it has these latches as well. This is going to be the one you close first. So it goes like so. Where did it go? There you go. So, and the bottom one isn't latched right now. And then this one latches like so. This also has a latch for this drawer, so that when you're driving, it's not going to come out. And let's see here. These guys are required to have this inverse latching lid. You have another latch here for this,
Yeah.
Hey, Kelly.
like so,
How are you?
like so. Make sure it's closed before you take it off, otherwise
Yes.
at best you're going to have a mess on your hands of a lot of grease everywhere. Outlets everywhere. If you plug something into an outlet that's not working, it's a breaker. Let's see. Likewise here, more outlets. Everything is mounted so that it's stationary when you're driving. Now I know after inspection you wanted to move that.
Or something.
Do not sit.
Yeah.
Do not leave.
Yeah.
So of course over here we have your cold condiment area.
Yes.
And these are, of course, you can organize them however, if you wanted to put bigger ones. These are all removable, so
Right,
you
yeah.
can mix and match. These guys, thankfully, have keys, so you can actually close these so the doors don't come flying open. So the keys are inside, and we'll put the racks on for you, and then just keep the keys handy. Likewise, this guy, I'm going to have some latches for you as well, so that they don't go flying out. What else? Top vents. You could drive with them open. Just be mindful if you're going under a tree or something. You might get some dirt and debris inside if you're parked there for a long time. Your windows, they have to have these silly dividers Again, after the fact, some people elect the cleaning process. You want to make sure to pay attention to these areas here. Believe it or not, if you get some dirt and debris and this thing doesn't close freely, you can get dinged on it during like a surprise inspection.
Okay.
Because it's got to be self-closing. What else?
Yeah, it'd be so nice to have it just stay up.
Yeah, that's where the sports and
Yeah.
foil come in. That's what people do. Any questions so far? Do you guys have this at your restaurant presently?
We do, yes.
Is it me or is it pretty challenging to light the pilot up?
It is, yeah. It's way back.
Way back there.
We were talking to Zach about that yesterday, actually.
So I would highly recommend a long, flexible lighter
Okay.
to kind of get in there because it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's took me and one of my guys a few minutes to figure
Yeah.
everything out.
You're saying it's like you can kind of look through this hole and see it?
Yeah, I was the one
I
looking.
haven't-
He was the one lighting. It
Yeah,
was just
it
like
was
a
a
tag team. Yeah, but we
Yeah.
finally got it lit, and that was another one of those issues where the air in the lines. It took a good bit of time, but
Okay,
finally we
to
got
get
it
the-
lit. So,
Okay.
and then we're going to be testing the fryers with actual oil, so you know, like real world scenario, and then we'll drain it for you.
So for each outlet, is it on a separate breaker, or how is that set up? Are
I'm
they
going to
separate?
double check, but ideally what's going to happen is these two are on one breaker. Those two are on one breaker, so forth. So in other words, if this is 20 amps and you plug in a 15 amp device here, you only have 5 amps left over. You
Okay.
can't plug in two 20 amp usage articles, for instance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you only have 20 amps coming here. But each one is going to be dedicated.
Dedicated, right. Yeah, I think because we're gonna have timers for the grill and then for fryer. Oh yeah. So we're gonna plug these in. I think it's pretty low. It's
The
like
bump arm?
it's not much of a. Yeah, it's 2.3 watts.
Yeah, it's going to be like that.
Yeah. So yeah, they'll probably plug into these two. We're guessing. Yeah. But I guess we have an extra.
You have this guy going here.
Right.
Um,
So I think we should have a plug. Yeah.
So,
for
yeah.
each.
But I think, I don't remember exactly how much this draws. It might draw a good bit, but depending upon the setting you have. And if that's drawing only like a couple amps, you should be okay here
Yeah.
with both of them. But you can try it out, you know, if the worst thing that you're going to do is the breaker's going to pop, then you have to flip it back on. You're not going to damage anything. If we're out here. Now, so we did the opening procedure, we did the tour, now you got the closing procedure. So what you want to do, oh, and I should add, first thing you want to do, okay, is turn off your gas, your propane tanks. It's not really going to apply to you so much as other caterers. They have open burner stoves. They don't have automated pilots, for instance. So if the pilot is off and the gas is on, gas is going to keep coming out overnight. So just as a safety measure, turn off both tanks, and then you can proceed with the rest of the closing procedure, which is going to be draining your wastewater tank. So at the commissary, they're going to have trench drains adjacent to wherever you're parking. And in your case, memory serves, you have a waste tank on the other side, below your sink. And that is able have a little way to so you can see it right here, as a matter of fact. And you would just basically pull the ball valve handle, and it will. It's a little tough, but
It has to because you don't want it to be.
yeah.
You know.
So you'll basically open and close it here. Now, if you ever wanted to route your wastewater elsewhere, this is a standard fitting drain. And you get like an RV hose screwed on there and drain it elsewhere. Then you just come here. You can turn off your breakers, turn off your generator, and then you're going to plug into your source of power at the commissary and turn on only those breakers you need, such as the refrigerator if you have inventory, or your battery charger if you forgot to charge it overnight. Just make sure you have adequate power for all that. The refrigerators are each going to take maybe, the trues will tell you inside there, between 4 and 6 amps. Ours are going to be about 8 amps. This puppy, I believe, is going to be about 16. Let's see. Hi. Hey, Glenn, how are you? Not a problem, sir. Follow me.
So as long as you guys remember, turn off the breakers and then you shut this off. And then when you plug it in, that's when you just turn the breakers on that you necessarily need on. And then when you go to start it in the morning, you make sure the breakers are off, start this, and then go over there one by one, turn on all your breakers. Okay, you do not have to worry about if you overfill the water. So don't put your finger in there to get the water out or anything. But if you get one of your, do you guys have what do you call wood sticks, like the stir sticks?
No, we don't.
Okay.
But we could. I mean,
Just get something to put in there just to see how much water is there. If you see it wet, the very first day, put the stick in there, make a mental note, this is where it is. Or put the wood stick somewhere on the side,
Yeah, just
make a mark
yeah.
with a pen. So next time you put it in, you go, oh, this is where it is. Now, once you measure one, the rest are going to be about the same.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay? And then just pour the water in. It's not a science. You don't have to worry about if the distilled water gets all over, it doesn't matter. It's water.
Yeah.
The reason why you want to use...
Well, these are covered right now. These are Phillips head screws. If you ever need to access the compressors from the third-party refrigerators, they're accessible here. So you also have warranties with them, so you can actually get to the stuff and pull it out and put in a new one. It's not a bad idea if every 6, 7, 8 months you just take this off and clean the coils just to optimize that and cool the gear versus so you have one here, we have one here. These are both the shed bases. And on the other side, directly across from this one, is the upright region true.
And you can blow those out with compressed air if you don't want to get in there and touch the stuff. You know what I mean? Because they're fine and you don't want to bend them.
Yeah. And so the plug that we plug in at the commissary, that's from that window over there, right? You're saying that's plugged in right now?
No, it's that big one.
It's okay,
Yeah, so we're going to give you the plug for this. It's a twist lock, and it's going to come out to a pigtail standard plugs. Yeah, two 120 plugs.
And this we fill for the generator.
This is for your generator. This is for the vehicle.
It'll be labeled.
The generator has a gauge in there as well, so you know how much fuel you have. Hamlet topped it off for you today.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
And if you want to maintain the generator itself, there's a CD that comes with it. It kind of goes through all the inner workings and how frequently to do what type of service. It's just like a car engine, you have to maintain it for it to work for you properly. So I want to say it's every 500 hours for oil changes typically, depending on if it's synthetic or if it's regular. But they'll have all that information.
Highly get on their website, look at the videos that they tell you what you should do.
Yeah.
The more knowledge is power. So the more stuff you know,
Yeah.
better everything will be.
And your model and everything is right here too, if you ever need any technical support from them. So all the information is here.
Yeah, we're gonna find someone basically to do that maintenance.
Yeah,
generator.
there's mobile guys that will come to you, and it's a Kubota engine, so it's the same stuff that Conan uses. It's just bigger,
Yeah.
so they'll know. And I'm a big fan of PowerTech.
Yeah,
They're now making these giant generators. Start stop panel here. It has an hour meter as well. So just keep an eye on that and just log your hours. So then you know, okay, 500 hours we got to do this, or 1,000 hours we got to do this, and you can just log it weekly, for instance. You don't have to log it every day. So you know when you're getting close to the 500 hour mark, 1,000 hour mark.
Yeah, so that's what we do is log just all the hours that we use.
Yeah, just put in like, let's say you're working Monday through Saturday, right? Every Friday, for instance, write in, or the Monday, your start hour is 240. Friday, you're at 380, for instance. So now you know, and you'll get a feel for your average usage. Typically, the time between unplugging from shore power and running the generator, in most cases, is going to be maybe 5 minutes at most.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, so because there's not enough. The battery pack is just some
It's
of
just
it
your
is
12
lighting. Yeah.
lighting and stuff.
So yeah, the refrigeration requires.
But it's gonna hold temp.
Yeah.
So, for instance, what I'll do is, prior to the health inspection, we plug it in, we turn on all the refrigerators here, because they're going to check all the temperatures.
Yeah.
I turn on the water heater. That morning when you guys come, we unplug, we fire up the generator. When we get there, everything's empty.
Yeah.
And it actually takes longer when it's empty, because there's no residual cold.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like whenever we're traveling, that's additional hours with the generator.
Oh yeah, the generator has to be on here.
But it'll be pretty low, like low.
Yeah, and it's pretty fuel efficient. I have to look at it to remember exactly. But I want to say under full load, it's probably going to be 3/4 of a gallon. That's under full load. That's assuming soft serve, all the compressors are running at the same time. You'll be right. And you have what, like a 30-some gallon diesel tank.
Okay. Yeah.
And the diesel tank fuel gauge is that one right there. See it?
Oh,
That. That's the diesel.
Okay.
Your fuel for gas is right up there.
Okay. What's this little piece right here?
That's the vent to the waste tank.
Okay. And I saw a little switch in here. Is this something? Oh, this is just screwed. Sorry. No, never mind. So this once we leave here, this will be plugged into the
Up there.
generator all the time. We will never change that unless,
It'll be plugged right up there.
yeah, we'll just keep that.
Yeah.
Cool. These all lock and
Yeah, and they're all
keys.
matching keys. So you'll have a couple of them, but your service doors and these doors, same keys, and then your driver passenger door, its own key, rear door, its own key.
we have a lot of keys.
Yeah, you're gonna have
Refrigerator, freezer.
a refrigerator, right? Let's say, for whatever reason, the generator's on, the breakers are on, no electricity's working inside. Now you go backwards, turn off those breakers, come over here. It's very seldom this happens, but it could. You have yet another breaker. Let's see here. Where I think it's on the other side. I'll find it for you. Yeah, it's right here, right where my hand is. You see right here, there's a little toggle. And it's like a main breaker for the generator.
Okay.
So, let's see if I can see if it's on or off. It may in fact be off right now. So, it's working, the system's working, but this is not putting the power out into the system if it's on. Can't really do that. So if I were to fire this up right now, and we turn everything on, you're not going to get power inside.
Right.
So these need to go up. Now they're on. So little things like that. We'll get those calls the first week. You're going to come out and fix that for you.
Yeah.
Baffle filters pop out very easily. Pop out the bottom, pull it up, take it out, wipe them down periodically.
Yeah.
Same with these guys.
Outdoor vents.
These also come out. Pop it up and out, clean it up, put it back. Because after a while, you might get some grease. So
Yeah.
it's mostly with the fryer areas, but
You can just use like a degreaser.
yeah. And they're stainless, so
Yeah, so you just spray it, leave it alone, and then come back and just spray it off with the hose.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was, for the
this is also going to be self-closing, by the way.
so we can change these out pretty easy too, right?
The screen? Oh yeah. So I should mention this. So
It's not supposed to be easy, just so you know. It's not, because
Okay.
it's under pressure.
In terms of height, how much? Just because we were trying to figure out dimensions, like the bench and stuff. Normal height is like around. Do you have the height, specific heights? Like how much is this at?
I can get it exactly for you after we get off lunch. I want to say it's probably about 11:59.
Okay. And with the window open or
It's
without?
been open hours.
Because yeah, we're just saying that.
It varies from truck to truck because of the chassis. This last one I measured, I want to say that's what it came out to.
And then first we're gonna check if we were to clean these or something. We'll do that.
We got these latches. So you gotta kind of push it up and then see, because you have to flip, you're gonna flip there. pull the other step ladder.
What, to take him out?
Yeah.
And then they're gonna clean everything up, so all these markers, lines, and all that'll be cleaned off. They polish through it all, get all these papers off, and it'll look even more